with the bloomers.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, today we're taking a closer look at Funny Girl from 1968, the film that turned Barbra Streisand from Broadway's shining voice into a Hollywood legend. So, let's pull back the curtain and discover 20 hidden facts you probably didn't know about Funny Girl. Fact 1. The famous "Hello, gorgeous" line. That unforgettable opening when Fanny Brice looks in the mirror and says, "Hello, gorgeous." It wasn't just iconic. It became one of the most quoted lines in movie history. In fact, Barbra Streisand even used the same line when she accepted her Oscar for Best Actress. But the studio was nervous about giving a big-budget movie to a stage performer with no film experience. It turned out to be one of the smartest decisions in Hollywood history. She won an Academy Award for Best Actress for her debut. Fact 3. A shared Oscar win. Barbra's Oscar win made history for another reason. She tied with Katharine Hepburn for Best Actress, one of the only ties in Oscar history. Both actresses received exactly the same number of votes. Fact 4. Frank Sinatra almost played Nick. Before Omar Sharif was cast as Nick Arnstein, the studio wanted Frank Sinatra. But Barbra wasn't a fan of the idea. She thought Sinatra's style didn't fit the character, and she told the producers directly. They eventually went with Sharif, and their on-screen chemistry became unforgettable. Fact 5. A real-life scandal. Barbra Streisand is Jewish. Omar Sharif was Egyptian, and at that time, Egypt and Israel were in conflict. When a publicity photo of them kissing was printed, it caused outrage in the Egyptian press. The headline read, "Omar kisses Barbra, Egypt angry." Sharif laughed it off, saying, "You should tell them it's only acting." Fact 6. The director was partially deaf. The legendary director William Wyler had hearing loss in one ear. It's hard to believe, since musicals rely so much on rhythm and timing. But Wyler's visual storytelling was so powerful, he didn't need perfect hearing to make a perfect film. Fact 7. A very expensive production. At the time, Funny Girl cost around $14 million to make a massive budget in 1968. It was one of the most expensive musicals ever produced then. Thankfully, it paid off. The movie became the highest-grossing film of the year. Fact 8. Barbra's live singing moment. Most musicals are lip-synced, but not this one. For the emotional finale, My Man, Barbra insisted on singing live on set instead of using a pre-recorded track. You can actually hear her voice trembling. That's real emotion, not editing. Fact 9. A makeup battle. Barbra believed she knew her own face better than any makeup artist. When the studio tried to assign her a stylist, she refused. She did her own makeup for every scene, and the results were stunning. Fact 10. Deleted scenes that fans never saw. Several musical numbers were cut before release, including extended scenes of His Love Makes Me Beautiful and extra comedy moments from Fanny's friends. Fans still wonder if those lost scenes will ever be restored. Fact 11. The real Fanny Brice. The movie is based on a real-person comedian and singer Fanny Brice. She was a Broadway star in the 1920s and a pioneer for women in comedy. Barbra studied her voice and mannerisms to make her performance more authentic. Fact 12. Don't Rain on My Parade was filmed on a moving train. That big number where Fanny rushes to find Nick? It was shot on real moving trains and boats in New York and New Jersey. The wind, the water, the speed, it was all real, and Barbra performed every take herself. Fact 13. Technical problems during filming. During that same sequence, the camera crew accidentally used the wrong film sprocket for 2,000 feet of footage. It caused a flicker effect that almost ruined the entire scene. They had to reshoot and resync the soundtrack from scratch. Fact 14. Barbra's Broadway partner returned. Kay Medford, who played Fanny's mother on Broadway, also played her in the film. Their real-life bond made the mother-daughter scenes feel genuine and warm. Fact 15. Wyler's first and last musical. Director William Wyler had never made a musical before, and after this one, he never made another. He once joked, "I did one musical and survived. That's enough." Fact 16. Barbra's fight for control. Barbra was very hands-on during filming. She reviewed dailies, argued about lighting, and made suggestions for camera angles. Even though she was new to film, her instincts were sharp and Wyler respected her input. Fact 17. The soundtrack became a bestseller. The official Funny Girl soundtrack became one of the best-selling albums of 1969. Songs like People and Don't Rain on My Parade became radio hits long before movie soundtracks were common chart toppers. Fact 18. A scene that changed Hollywood lighting. During filming, Barbra Streisand, always meticulous about how she appeared on camera, made a simple but game-changing suggestion. In one close-up, she asked the cinematographer, Harry Stradling Sr., to slightly tilt the key light upward so the beams softened the shadow under her nose. At first, it was a small vanity request, but when they saw the playback, everyone noticed the difference. Her face looked sculpted, glowing alive. Wyler, the director, loved it so much he started using the same light setup for her future shots. The look became so distinct that it was later nicknamed the Streisand light. It flattered the bone structure, softened lines, and became a signature Hollywood technique copied by many cinematographers for decades. To this day, it's taught in film schools as a masterclass in portrait lighting. Barbra didn't just perform in front of the camera. She understood at every lens, every angle, every shimmer of light. She once said, "I know how to light myself because I know how I feel in the light." And in Funny Girl, that intuition made her not just the star of the movie, but the architect of her own legend. Fact 19. Missing sequel plans and the long wait. After Funny Girl became a massive success, Columbia Pictures was desperate for a sequel. The film had earned millions, received 8 Oscar nominations, and turned Streisand into a worldwide icon. Naturally, the studio wanted to continue the story of Fanny Brice and Nick Arnstein, but there was a problem. The real Fanny Brice's later life wasn't filled with musical joy. It was quieter, more bittersweet. And Barbra herself was cautious. She didn't want to repeat a story just for money. For years, the idea sat in development hell. Writers came and went, drafts were scrapped, and producers couldn't agree on the right tone. Finally, in 1975, Funny Lady was released as a sequel showing Fanny's later career and her complicated relationship with impresario Billy Rose. While it had grand sets and songs, many felt the magic of the first movie was gone. Even critics said Funny Girl was lightning in a bottle, something you couldn't recreate twice. Still, the sequel served as a kind of emotional goodbye to the character that started it all. And for Barbra, it was a reminder that sometimes perfection only happens once. Fact 20. Barbra's favorite film and her emotional bond with it. Out of all the films in her long career, From the Way We Were to Yentl, Barbra Streisand has always said that Funny Girl is the one closest to her heart. She once admitted, "If I had to save one of my films for the future, it would be Funny Girl." That's where everything began. It was the movie that gave her confidence, fame, and the belief that she could control her destiny in Hollywood. Behind the scenes, she often stayed late on set just to watch playback of her performances, studying how emotion translated to the screen. For her, Funny Girl wasn't just acting, it was a reflection of her real journey. A young woman from Brooklyn who believed in herself when no one else did. She saw herself in Fanny Brice's story, a girl laughed at for being different, but destined to shine. Even decades later, when she performs Don't Rain on My Parade in concerts, you could see the same spark, the same fearless fire. It's not nostalgia, it's gratitude. Because Funny Girl wasn't just Barbra's first movie. It was the mirror that showed her who she truly was and the stage that made the world finally see it too. More than 50 years later, Funny Girl still shines not just for its songs or its glamour, but for its heart. It's a story about believing in yourself when no one else does, about love, fame, and finding your voice in a world that tries to quiet you. Barbra Streisand wasn't just playing Fanny Brice, she was Fanny Brice. And that's why this film will always be more than a musical. It's a piece of movie magic that still feels alive today.